7:32, we call the meeting to order. Roll call. Okay.
Twenty supervisors are present. Supervisors Belsky, Berg, and Gentz are excused.
Okay, also let the record show that Alexa Didinsky from Judiciary and Law is here present. Let's begin tonight's meeting with a moment of silence for Officer Peter Jerving, shot and killed in the line of duty early this morning. Okay. Citizen comments. Is there any citizen wish to speak? Please state your name and address for the record.
Can you speak closer into the mic, please?
No. No, it's on.
Is the light green? Okay,
It's on from here.
okay, let's shut it off and turn it on again.
Try it now.
Hello?
Okay,
There you go.
Hi. My name is Linda Spalding, 3023 25th Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I've been following a couple things, and I handed out to everybody, or had handed out to you. I didn't hand them out, somebody else did. Thank you, Reggie. Okay. And I have a concern about the meeting times of the Kenosha County Board steering committees, especially the one that is the Judiciary and Law one. And let me get into my notes here, or into my presentation, whatever. I want you to please reference the Kenosha News article from January 22nd, 2023. There was an article in there about the county panel sees racial inequity in local arrests. There is also a public listening session tomorrow night by the Kenosha County Racial and Ethnic Equity Commission on Wednesday, February 8th from 6 to 8. Note the time, please. Okay. That article and study raised my interest in attempting to attend the Judiciary and Law Standing Committee of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors. And the reason it did that is because I'm assuming, okay, and I know that's a bad word, but I'm assuming that the arrests have to do with judiciary and law, okay? That's where my thought process goes. I'm concerned because when I look back at the minutes of that particular committee that are online, I was very surprised when I saw that the meeting for that particular committee, the Judiciary and Law Standing Committee, was changed in October or after the October meeting to 4:15 from, I believe it was 6:30 p.m., okay? The meeting time was changed on October 5th or after the October 5th, 2022 meeting. All of the other standing committees meet either at 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. That is a time when those who want to attend and want to make comments, citizens' comments, they can do so. At 4:15, that's not reasonable, okay, to expect people to be there. The Kenosha County Board of Supervisors and the Kenosha County Executive should have determined, that's my expectation, should have determined or decided a consistent time for all standing committee meetings to meet last spring when y'all were elected, okay? Please keep the standing committee meetings at the times consistent. There should be time to allow for transparency, to allow for citizens to attend, to observe county government in action, and to make comments. 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. are far more accommodating to the general public. Meetings held at 4:15 are not within a convenient time frame to attend those meetings. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other citizen wish to speak? Any other citizen wish to speak? Any other citizen wish to speak? Citizen comments are closed. Okay, later tonight, Resolution 72 is on the agenda. After review and discussion with Corporation Counsel and the changes made from the time it was referred to Judiciary and Law Committee, along with Corporation Counsel opinion, I have concern about the process and it should go to Finance Committee before it comes to the full board. Therefore, I would like to have the Judiciary and Law Committee to agree in removing Resolution 72 from tonight's agenda and refer to Finance for further review. This is non-debatable, and I will have the county clerk pull the members of the Judiciary and Law Committee for a vote. Yes to remove it, no to keep it. County clerk.
Taking a voice vote on this, Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Bashaw? Supervisor Nordigan?
Yes.
Supervisor Decker?
No.
Supervisor Franco?
Yes.
And Supervisor Wambolt?
Yes.
Supervisor Belsky is excused. There's 4 yes and 2 no.
Okay, then that will be removed from tonight's agenda and will go to Finance Committee. Any supervisor comments? Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me start by saying I'm not sure what just happened. I wasn't aware that this was going to happen tonight, so I'm disappointed in how that transpired. Moving on, the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee met the 1st of February last week. We approved several resolutions. One of them is before you this evening, and the rest have to go to the Finance Committee before they come back. Additionally, we met with Director Nielsen, again, of Joint Services, to go over just kind of a follow-up from the Executive Committee who met with him earlier. He told the Executive Committee that he was going to make changes, was going to maybe look at outside sources of talent and information to bring about new processes and change throughout Joint Services to ensure that some of this behavior that we've all read about doesn't happen again. In that time, we have learned that this misconduct transpired over the course of a decade, and that we don't know for sure what the dollar amount is, but based on statements given to Walworth County Sheriff's Department, we suspect it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. According to Director Nielsen, he still has no plan in place. We asked him what he's done in the months since. He hasn't done anything. He told myself that he had finished reading the reports from Walworth County, and he told another supervisor that he has not yet finished those reports. So I'm not really sure what's going on over at Joint Services, but it does cause alarm to myself and several other supervisors I know that I've spoken to. And I made it clear to Josh the other night, and I'll make it clear here tonight, that if he can't get the cloud that's hovering over Joint Services to go away, we need somebody new in that position. So I hope he does something. I hope the Joint Services Board does something about this, because oftentimes the public thinks that elected officials and public employees can do things and have a conduct that they can't do, and that elected officials and public employees get away with things that a private citizen would not get away with. And I think this is a prime example of that, where right now I think the current administration over at Joint Services is hoping that this just goes away and people forget about it until it happens again and the public asks us, what have you done? Why didn't you fix it last time? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Nordigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight we had our second public information meeting for the Highway W reconstruction. It's not scheduled to be start until 2024, but it was very well attended by a lot of residents from both the village of Salem Lakes and the town of Randall. Some changes that were asked for from the first public information meeting back in December had been made to this plan. And the residents of the area were much more positive, much more affirming of the plan, and did have other questions that Clement is going to address in as the design moves on. And I want to give a big shout out to Clement because he did a great job. He stood up in front of everybody, both the previous meeting and this meeting. And the first meeting wasn't as well attended. Clement, told him, hey, he says, I didn't get things out as I should have got them out. He got them out this time, and I give him a real pat on the back for taking that one, owning it, and making it better this time around. It was a good job by Clement. One comment that was made by almost everybody there has nothing to do with Highway W and the fact that, people are speeding all the time. And if they wouldn't speed, they wouldn't have all these problems and a lot of the accidents that are going on. Their one comment was, we need more law enforcement help out there. And many of them spoke that they had called the sheriff's department in the past. This is not the previous sheriff, the current sheriff. And as far as they were concerned, they were completely ignored. So, Sheriff, if you could see what you can do out there, they very much would appreciate it. It's a bit of the Wild West. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Vice Chair Decker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Tuesday, January 31st, I attended the inaugural meeting of the Opioid Settlement Advisory Panel, chaired by Kenosha County Behavioral Health Manager Carrie Foss. The panel was created by County Executive Kirkman to provide input on the county executive on potential uses of the funds Kenosha County received and will be receiving from the opioid settlements. An overview of some of the ways settlement monies can be used was discussed at the meeting. Kenosha County has received $1.75 million in opioid settlement money, with more expected. It is the goal of the county executive to, after initial startup investments, to use only the interest earned on the principal to pay for programs so the funding can continue in perpetuity. Personally, I believe this plan of only using interest and not principal is a wise fiscal decision for future budget planning. The panel has planned to meet the fourth Tuesday of every month at the Job Center at 1:30 p.m. The next meeting will take place on February 28th. At this meeting, they are going to learn more about the Botvin Life Skills Program, an evidence-based substance abuse and violence prevention program used in schools and communities throughout the U.S. and around the world. And then, yesterday, February 6th, I joined Wisconsin Insurance Commissioner Nathan Hudek and County Executive Kirkman with others on a tour of Kenosha County's flood mitigation efforts, which coincided with the start of Flood Insurance Awareness Week. Kenosha County's participation in the National Flood Insurance Program's community rating system allows for a discount of up to 25% for policyholders who live in special flood hazard areas. Only 17 units of local government across the state participate in this voluntary community rating system. And Kenosha County is one of just 2 in the state and 170 nationally to achieve a Class 5 rating. That is a recognition of Kenosha County's ongoing Fox River Floodplain Buyout Program, spearheaded by Planning and Development Director Andy Bueller. Since 1995, the Fox River Floodplain Buyout Program has obtained FEMA funds to purchase 186 parcels, including 119 residences located in the Fox River floodplain. This voluntary program offers residents the opportunity to relocate to drier ground, leaving the county-owned properties to revert to being natural land in the floodplain. And here are some flood insurance facts. Most homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You do not have to live in a floodplain to purchase flood insurance. While the average flood insurance premium costs slightly less than $1,000 per year, the average claim is roughly $44,000. Floods are the most common and costly natural disasters in the United States. Flooding can happen anywhere at any time. Events like storm surges, heavy rainfall, or erosion-related overflows may result in flooding. Renters should consider contents-only flood insurance to protect the items inside of their unit. That starting cost is only $99 a year. And you can purchase flood coverage at any time. There may be a 30-day waiting period after you've paid the premium before the policy is effective. So if you're concerned about your home flooding, now is the time to purchase flood insurance. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Nedwesky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Human Services Committee met tonight at 6 p.m. For a second time, we had Narcan and fentanyl strip training, but this time much more comprehensive for the committee and the audience that was there. And we greatly appreciate this being a repeated agenda item for us because, as we've seen lately, there's continues to be an expanded opioid crisis in our community. Many of our questions were answered, and there are a lot of preconceived notions about opioid use that I think we need to continue to work as a community to make sure that we correct those notions. I was very excited to learn that recently the county's interaction with our schools on Narcan and fentanyl strip outreach has increased significantly. Given recent incidences in the community with the student, there seems to be more buy-in from school districts and school boards to bringing this in. So I believe there were something like 60 first responders from the school district that were trained recently in Narcan administration. Also, you will be seeing overdose emergency kits placed in county buildings in the coming weeks if they haven't been placed already, so those are exciting. And I'd like to see those, the grant for that will hopefully be expanded for us to be able to offer that to maybe businesses and other organizations throughout the county. I would like to encourage everyone on this board and in this room to get Narcan training if you have not yet, and spread the word to your people throughout your districts, whether it be residents or businesses or organizations, even churches, to have that on hand as something that you might want to just have in a first aid kit. So I just wanted to once again thank those who came out to do the presentation. It was very comprehensive, and we always appreciate when employees come out on their off time to educate us, the county board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I just want to inform everyone, I'm sure you all know to one extent or another, for the Racial Equity Ethnicity Commission has a meeting tomorrow starting at 6 and will last until the last speaker, or up until 8 o'clock. I'd also invite anyone from the community that's here tonight to attend it well. It will be at the Bradford Unitarian Universal Church. I think that's the name of it, but it's basically across the street. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisor comments? Any other supervisor? Any other supervisor? Supervisor comments are closed.
New business resolution, one reading, resolution 69 from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance and Administration Committees, a resolution to lease Kenosha County property at Kenosha County Center to U.S. Representative Style. This passed unanimously at the Public Works and Facilities Committee. It passed at Finance and Administration Committee with Supervisors Rose, Geertsen, Stocker, Decker, Bashaw voting aye, Supervisor Grady voting nay, and Supervisor Poole excused.
Supervisor Nordigan.
Move Resolution 69.
Moved by Supervisor Nordigan, second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Nordigan.
Yeah, this is, it's a real basic rental agreement is what it is that U.S. Rep. Steele has been interested in, and therefore we have offered to him. Apparently, he did have an office down in Summers that they've, in the municipal building there, that they've decided they need it now, and I guess he's moved out of there. And I believe he's also in one of the courthouses as well. But anyway, there were some questions that I had gotten and I fielded, and I just wanted to bring those up in case there's any of the questions in the minds of the board here. But the Corporation Council is developing a policy, I believe, for this going on in the future for any other types of rental agreement. One of them was, is this a polling location? This building is not, has not, and will not be a polling location, so we shouldn't have an issue there. And also, federal law will not allow any campaigning. This is an information office only. It'll be 2 days a week, I think, and then by appointment only. One question was, will others be allowed? And yes, I believe County Executive Kirkman has already contacted both Senators Baldwin and Johnson and notifying them that there is office space available should they like to have an informational office out here, which I think is a good idea if we had all of our federal representatives here. And at this time, there are 3 available offices, so we could certainly house those 2 if they should decide to come to the space. And, the leases are going to run for 2 years, basically 1st of January 2023 on this one to the end of 2025, December 31st. So I think it's the right thing to do. I don't think there's anything that's unethical about it. Everything was explained very, very well as to what that office can or can't do. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we should view this as from a nonpartisan perspective, not from a partisan one. The issues that will be brought to this office will be issues that people in this area have, be it Social Security or some other personal problem that needs to be addressed by the federal government. I would like to think that if the governor, a Democratic governor or senator wanted to locate in this location, we would endorse that. That the kind of issues that will be dealt there by public officials are nonpartisan type issues. This is not a partisan office and shouldn't be viewed as such. As I say, I think we should welcome, encourage governor, a Democratic governor, Republican governor, or senator to locate there as well. It's a good location. It's a center of the community. It has plenty of parking. It's easily accessible. And it's also well to note that in Racine, a similar office is located and has been located in the Racine County Courthouse for many years. So the proposal here should be viewed as nonpartisan, applicable to both parties, and should be supported as such.
Thank you. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I start, I just want to offer to my colleagues tonight that Susie from Representative Stiles' office is with us tonight, should anybody have any questions. She's here to answer those questions. But I'm going to vote in support of this tonight, and I think we all should. Kenosha County has prided itself on making sure our services are available to all of our constituents, and we see that firsthand out there at 45 and 50 with the satellite office for our constitutional officers out there. So we don't make folks who live on the West End drive all the way downtown, which could be north of 45 minutes plus. We make a convenient location for them, and this just adds to that. So as Supervisor Nordigan stated, the county executive has reached out to both of our senators as well, and it is my hope that maybe someday both of them will come down to Kenosha County and have a home of sorts here in Kenosha County. We pride ourselves as Kenosha County making sure our resources and services are accessible to all. That's why we moved the Job Center as another prime example of that. This furthers that mission, and I think it's a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The comments I'm making on this particular item do not pertain to Representative Stiles specifically, but more to the idea of an office holder, a partisan office holder, being part of a county, a municipal building. If there was truly a space shortage and this was the only place that was available, that might be one thing. That's certainly not the case. What is the case is we live in a very polarized society. When you take a look at the situation we have on Capitol Hill in Washington, Democrats versus Republicans, That's trickled over now into the state, where we have a certain amount of gridlock in all of our states, not just Wisconsin. And you can see some of this trickling down into the local areas as well. So why at this particular time, we have a polarized environment, we would entertain having an elected official in a building which is supposed to be neutral, is supposed to be basically not partisan, not for any one entity. Why do you do this is beyond me. It's just very, very poor timing, and I think it's poor public policy. Now, to make the concession or to make the amendment, the idea that others are welcome, well, that's nice, that's saying there's a level playing field, but it still doesn't address the idea of having elected officials in a building where they don't necessarily have to be there. Does anyone in this room have to be reminded that the county clerk has their election security out at Highway 50 and 45? That's where it's done. It's going to be in a secured area. So I'm not necessarily saying that this is some danger flag, that this could occur, that this would influence the vote. No, I'm not saying that. But if you had your choice in this room this evening, why would you even put the two together in the same building? It doesn't make sense. It's just not a wise thing to do. No one's talking about legal versus illegal. That's not the question. The question is, does this pass the sniff test? And my proposition to you, being the lone dissenting committee member in finance, the only one who dissented, and then also for Public Works, who's unanimous in their committee, I just don't see it that way. So vote as you may, it probably will pass due to what we've discussed here earlier and the people that are lined up to support it. I think it's poor public policy. I'll not vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Franco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too initially had some concerns. However, I think many of the concerns I had have already been addressed. One of the ones that hasn't been brought up, but I think Supervisor Belsky did in committee, was the concern at the rate at which Congressman Stile will be leasing the office. It is at $3 per square foot, which I've looked into is pretty cheap compared to other public entities that lease, not even factoring in private entities. I guess the way I look at it is, if this is going to pass, which I think it already has enough votes to pass, I think what's really important is that if we're going to not just lease to Congressman Stile and open it up to, we should open it up to all politicians, partisan politicians in this case, whether state or federal. But if we're going to lease the office space for $3 per square foot, then that needs to be the set rate for future politicians in the, if we're going to write the rules on this, because we can't rent it for $3 for one politician and $5, $6, $10 a square foot for another politician. I will be the first one to reject that idea and speak out against it. But if we're going to go through with this, this needs to be written in the rules, so that's the rate at which we will be renting to partisan politicians if they so choose to lease public space here in the county. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Basho.
Thank you, Chairman. If I could ask a question to Supervisor Nordigan or Supervisor Rose. From reading the agreement, the contract, it's initiated from the House of Representatives, or is it on Brian Stiles' letterhead?
I read it from the House of Representatives.
Okay, so this is an
The seat
official,
number, yeah.
an official lease agreement initiated from the federal government through the House of Representatives to bring representatives closer to the people.
That's how I read and understood it, correct.
Okay, and then a quick comment. Thank you very much for that. Brian Stile was in town, or Representative Stile was in town for a listening session a few weeks back, which I did take the opportunity to attend, being that it's just a few miles from my home. And I was very impressed at the apolitical nature of it. It was certainly a representative of the federal government asking questions, getting information, providing information. It was an absolutely apolitical event, and some of the people that were asking questions I recognize from other events and activities are very partisan, not on my side of the aisle, but very partisan by nature. So he was perfect in his display of an apolitical representation of the government and did an exceptional job. So this is a great opportunity for the people to get closer to the government, get closer to their federal officials who we rarely see once they head to Washington. So I'm very supportive of this opportunity. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Any other supervisors? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Resolution 69 passes, 19 yes, 1 no. I just want to make a note on the next Resolution 70. Originally, there was a typo. It listed Supervisor Rose, and it should have been Chairman Nudo. That correction has been made on the website, but I just wanted to mention it in case if anyone has a printed copy. So Resolution 70 from Chairman Nudo and the Legislative Committee, a resolution to request the state of Wisconsin to revise the current real estate transfer fees revenue sharing formula. This passed unanimously at the Legislative Committee.
Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, motion to move Resolution 70.
Moved by Supervisor Thomas, second by Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, this was, actually, it was, since it came from the chair, Chairman Nudo came and made a good presentation to the committee. There was some discussion on this, and it passed unanimously in committee, and hopefully everyone else will support it the same.
Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Oppose? Passes.
Resolution 71 from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Representative Tip McGuire to serve as a member of the Kenosha County Local Emergency Planning Committee, Group 1 State Elected Official Group. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move Resolution 71.
Moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Bishop. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. This is an appointment to, or a resolution, excuse me, to appoint Representative Tip McGuire to serve as a member of the Local Emergency Planning Committee. He will be succeeding, who is now our county executive, then Representative Samantha Kirkman. He will serve until the 31st day of December 2025 or until a successor is appointed. He was unable to join us at committee. We did reach out to him to see if he could join us tonight. We did not hear back either way, unfortunately. But it was approved by the committee. Sergeant Hannah from the Sheriff's Department is here to answer any questions anyone may have.
Any comments? Any comment? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Communications 46, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution in support of the Intergovernmental Mutual Aid Agreement for transportation of Chapter 51 detainees by Wisconsin law enforcement from Wisconsin to Lake Behavioral Hospital in Illinois. Refer to Judiciary and Law Committee. 47, communication from Supervisors Rose and Rodriguez, ordinance amendment to Chapter 4 Municipal Code of Kenosha County, the Civil Service Ordinance. Refer to Judiciary and Law and Finance Committees. 48, communication from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution to accept and utilize WLIP grant funding for Kenosha County Land Records Modernization Project activities. Refer to Finance Committee. 49, communications from Supervisors Decker, Geertsen, and Stocker, a resolution in support of increased county child support funding.
Refer to Legislative Committee.
50, communication from Supervisors Decker, Geertsen, and Stocker, a resolution regarding substitute care collections.
Refer to Legislative Committee.
51, communication from the Public Works and Facilities Committee, a resolution to approve a FICA alternative plan for eligible Kenosha County employees.
Refer to Finance Committee.
52, communication from the Public Works and Facilities Committee, a resolution to approve repurposing of ARPA funds from County Trunk Highway S project to County Trunk Highway EM project.
Refer to Public Works Committee.
53, communication from Supervisors Decker and Rodriguez and the Finance Administration Committee, a resolution relating to the use of TikTok on Kenosha County-owned devices.
Refer to Finance Committee.
54, communication from Supervisors Decker and Rodriguez is resolution to amend Chapter LE 5.06-1.
Refer to Legislative Committee.
55, communication from Supervisors Decker and Rodriguez, a resolution recognizing April 2023 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Refer to Executive Committee.
The approval of the January 17th, 2023 minutes by Supervisor O'Day.
Supervisor O'Day.
Move the motion to approve the minutes of January 17th, 2023.
Moved by Supervisor O'Day, second by Supervisor Wembold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Nardigan. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? We're adjourned. For which one?